Welcome to a new episode of our statistical analysis course. In this video we will talk about adequate sample, representative sample. The idea behind statistical analysis is that you want to implicate the findings on a population, based on our findings on a small sample from it. If you want to measure the frequency of heart attack in our society, we just need to take an adequate representative sample from it. And what we find in this sample will represent what we will find among the whole society. The question now: how to get an adequate and representative sample from the population that we can use to implicate our findings on the whole population. Let's begin by defining adequate sample. The first question we ask ourselves upon choosing the sample is, how much? The idea here is that you do not want to get confused between including 1,000 participants, where you only need 100, as this will waste your resources. At the same time, you do not want to include only 10 participants, when you need 100. There are two ways to calculate the number needed for your hypothesis. The first way is through sample calculator, where we recommend the use of G-Power Calculator, which is a free and easy to use tool, and we will explain it further in another episode. The second way is by looking for studies with similar hypothesis and checking the sample they included for their population. Now, let's go to the representative sample. Let's say you determine that you need a sample of 200 participants in your study, and you want to measure the frequency of heart attack in your hospital. The first thing to keep in mind is that you need to choose your sample randomly, so that no one interferes with the chance of anyone in the original population to be chosen in the sample. To do so, you can use random.org website to choose participants based on their hospital ID in the following way. Let's say your hospital have 50,000 visitors this year. So you will take the hospital numbers for the 50,000 patients and put them in the random.org box to choose randomly the first 200 patients to include in your study. The idea here is that all patients have the same chance of being chosen, so the sample you get will represent the 50,000 patients in the original population. The second thing to keep in mind is that you should recruit your sample from the whole population. In other words, you should not recruit all patients from one clinic. You should choose your sample from all the hospital. For example, if you choose your sample from cardiology clinic visitors, you will have higher frequency of heart attacks, and this does not represent the whole hospital.